Hey, welcome back to the Disney Plus Everyday Challenge. And today we have Bobi Wine, the people's president. This is a National Geographic documentary. It's an hour and 54 minutes long. It's from 2023. And I'm saying this very quickly because I know that sometimes longer videos that I make tend to scare people off and go, oh, he's rambling for a really long time, like I am now. And I want to make it clear to you, in case you're new to these things, that I don't have any scripts for these things. I just react to what I just saw. I literally just finished it. And I just shot, I will admit this right now, I shot a 17-minute video. It was almost 18 minutes before I realized nobody's going to watch this. Probably nobody will watch this version either, which will hopefully be half as long. But I realized that these are the kind of things that are important enough that need to be said. That I'm going to make it short. Sorry, I'm really dragging this out, aren't I? If you don't know what this is about, this is a documentary that takes place from around 2017, 18, all the way up to about 2021, during a really tumultuous time in Uganda, in Africa, East Africa, yeah. There is, I'm going to say this name wrong, there is a leader there, Yoweri Museveni. He's been around for decades. He's at the point of this thing starting, he's been the president for like 5 terms. Yeah. And there is a rule in Uganda that you can't be in president, or at least in government, a government or at least president, past a certain age, which makes sense. It's probably something we should have applied here in our presidency and the Supreme Court, but let's not get into that right now. But this follows a pop star turned political revolutionary named Bobi Wine and his wife, Barbie. The two of them, this mostly focuses on them and the risk that his music, which speaks about fighting for the people, fighting for the communities, cities throughout Uganda, against a man who will not relinquish power. Early on in this, and I'm trying not to give away everything, but early on in this, there's a struggle where he sort of starts to join the struggle, to have them not take away the law that prevents people from a certain age from holding office. They lose that, which allows Museveni to continue to be a leader through, potentially the next election, which takes place in 2021. And you see the rise of using his music, using his popularity. He's a big pop star in Uganda, but he is speaking for the people. And people realize that, yeah, we need change in this. These are not rich people. These are not powerful people. These are people, many living in poverty, while one man holds on to power democratically, whether they like it or not. Technically, if it's democratically, they get a voice. They have a vote. They get to choose who serves them, not who rules them. And Museveni's not really leaving it. And I need to put this in here. Museveni's seen as a democratic leader. He's got good relations. Uganda has good relations with the United States and with the European Union and other parts of the world. It's not like they're North Korea or Russia or just other parts of the world where it's just a totalitarian kind of rulers above the minions kind of thing. At least that's not how it seems. And the people, yes, even into the 2021 Democratic-run Biden administration, who has enough stuff to deal with, but they do not put any sanctions. They don't put any. They get along with Uganda for now. But yeah, nobody's really coming up against Uganda because they got other stuff. They got Ukraine. They got Palestine and Israel. They got other stuff like that. happening all at the same time. So I'm not going to get into all that, but the thing is, Bobi Wine, his people, his party, working to stand against this man who will not let go of power and who's willing to do anything to crush the spirits and the ability for this other party to even have a voice, to even get it on the ballot. They break into their offices, take away all the signatures that are needed to make him a candidate. And when it comes time for people to try to re-nominate him, try to get him on the ballot, the internet goes out for the entire country leading up to the election. There's people speaking out, and sometimes violence occurs. Yes, sometimes the supporters are violent. But yeah, guess who's got the guns? Guess who's got the weapons? And guess who's just standing there in large military gear, large crowds with military gear and weapons, beating the crap out of people, shooting them, abducting them. There's a statement that there's probably about 3,000 people over the course of this period who had been abducted, tortured, and some even killed for standing with this resistance. Government will deny that. I can't say I have proof one way or the other, but this struggle is real. And the entire time I was under the impression that we were going to, since I do not know anything about Ugandan politics or the people involved in it until now, and what I know is very little, except for this 2 hours worth of documentary, I've expected Bobi to be dead before the end of this thing. It was a really very real thing. People around him severely injured. There's parts of this where he was abducted and imprisoned, and when he comes back from that, he's in bed for a decent portion of the film, where his children come to visit him, and he tries to explain to them, his very small children, tries to explain to them where he's been and what he's gone through without upsetting them. At one point, they do have to get the children out of the country because of the potential threat against their lives, as well as, their parents, who are continuing, despite the government working to shut them up and to keep them from being even on the ballot. Because you think that, hey, you know what? If you're a beloved leader, Museveni, Museveni, if you're such a beloved leader, you don't need to cut the internet. You just literally need to run on your own merits. I mean, seriously, you're beloved, you're popular, you get along with other countries, hey, you've probably done, and I did read up on him, he's done good things for the infrastructure in the country, he's done some good things, but he runs it more like a dictatorship. When you could pretend to have an election, but it really doesn't matter when you decide to imprison, kill, threaten, occupy the home of your rival candidates until after the election. Yeah, you would think you wouldn't need to send the military out to camp out in their yard around the house 24/7. You could win on your own merits, right? Violence shouldn't be necessary, right? I don't know. You be the judge. I honestly, like I said, I didn't know where this was going, if this was going to be a story of success or utter complete failure, or if there was still hope for the future. Because this man can't live forever. But when we get in these kind of situations where it works, where the old man will not concede, it will hold on to power no matter what, so that he cannot be held accountable for whatever crimes he may have committed against his own people, or led others to commit crimes. Who am I talking about? Anyway, when they won't concede, they won't move on, they won't relinquish whatever power they have. Yeah, well, he's done good things. He's also done lots of very corrupt things as well. You can look it up. video. I promise this video would be shorter so people would watch it. I'm already at the 10-minute mark. So I say definitely, if you care about international politics and you want a look at history repeating itself and possibly predicting itself in other parts of the world, maybe even our own, this is something you should watch. No leader, no, I shouldn't even call him a leader, no president or dictator, they've never freely given away their power when it's asked of them. It's always through revolution. The people are usually never given, people who do not have a voice are never given that voice except through revolution, through fighting for it. It's just the way it is. And it's not just America or Uganda, it's everywhere. Because totalitarian leaders, fascists, all those types of people, autocrats, they will, they need to hold on to that power like their life depends on it, because it does in some cases, some parts of the world. And we need to fight against it like our lives depend on it, because it does, even in our part of the world. Let's pick tomorrow's episode. 71. 71. Wow, that's 40 after. Okay, this is a very different. It counts as a documentary, not really. It counts as music or a concert, because everything that's colored red on my list is documentary, reality, and live performances or music. I don't know. This is very different than what we just saw. I think it's a concert or some kind of music thing, because it features Ed Sheeran, the sum of it all. Yep. So that'll be a change of pace, a change of tone. Okay, Ed Sheeran, the sum of it all is what we're watching next on the Disney Plus Everyday Challenge. I'll see you back here tomorrow with that.